Well, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Huffer and Friends, a podcast designed to help you flourish at life and relationships. My name is Huffer. I'm the host and the lead pastor at the Gathering Christian Church in Naples, Florida. And each episode of this podcast, you'll either hear from me or get to hear from friends of mine that have helped me flourish at life and relationships. And I believe that listening to them will help you flourish too. So if you like what you're hearing, you can always comment or make sure you like the podcast or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. We'd love for you to follow along. Each month, we focus in on a different topic. And this month, the month of June, we're going to be focusing in on this concept of rebuilding your life. How do you, when you have found yourself in a mess, how do you get out? Like, what are the steps, the processes, the stories you need to hear, the steps you need to take, the lessons you need to learn in order to get out of the mess that you find yourself in? That's really what we're going to be zeroing in on this month. And I like to talk about that mess you find yourself in, because a lot of times, my dad used to always say this, that you don't change until you know enough that you want to change, or you hurt enough that you have to. And a lot of times, the learning enough that you want to change is that preventative type of change. It's the change that you do preemptively before you hit what I call rock bottom. But the other type of change, and that can happen, and that does happen, right? A lot of times you make changes before you get into a really worse situation. But most of us, at least for me, I have not really made major life changes until it's hurt enough that I have to. Until I've hit rock bottom in my life and in my marriage or in my physical health or whatever that is. And I've decided I cannot live that way anymore. Rock bottom is like, it's the worst. It's also the best. It's the worst because it's painful. It's because you've reached the end of yourself and you have nothing left to give. And rock bottom is the worst because typically it hurts. It's the best though, because it reveals to you that the way that you were doing things, whatever those things are, work, family, friendship, mental health, the way that you are doing them doesn't work. It has failed you. And knowing that lesson and learning it to be true is one of the best things that can happen to you. I've heard it say once that the journey from here to there, the first decision you have to make is, I can't stay here. Like, I've hit rock bottom. I cannot keep doing it the way I've been doing it. Jesus says it like this in Matthew 5, verse 3 in the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So he's saying, congratulations to you when you are bankrupt spiritually, when you have nothing left to give, when you are literally on the flat of your back and you have nothing to do, then and only then is God ready to really use you, because you become completely dependent on him. That's what rock bottom is. It's the best and it is the worst. One of my favorite stories that Jesus tells about someone hitting rock bottom is the prodigal son story. If you've not heard the story, it's one of the most famous short stories in all of Western literature. It's called a parable, and Jesus tells it to these religious leaders, that there's a father who has two sons, an older son who does everything right, and a younger son that does everything wrong. The younger son comes to his dad and says, I want my share of the inheritance. Basically, he says, you're dead to me, give me my inheritance now. So the father does. He gives the youngest brother his share in the inheritance. And the brother runs off, and it says, into wild living, and he spends all the money. Everything that his dad gave him, he just wastes it away. And then a famine hits the land. And the result of that is that this younger brother is in abject poverty. So much so, he is feeding pigs for a living, which is unclean for a Jew to do. And he's sitting there coveting what the pigs are eating. And then in Luke 15, here's the phrase, Luke 15, verse 17, it says this, when he came to his senses. When he came to his senses. When he finally hit rock bottom and he had that moment where the light bulb went on, then and only then did he decide, I can't stay here. And the prodigal son returns home to his father, who runs out and meets him, greets him as if he's always been there, as if nothing had ever happened, puts on the family robe and the family ring, and he makes a huge party for the prodigal son, saying, finally, my son who was dead is alive, is lost, is now found. It's a beautiful story. And then there's this whole thing about the older brother that we won't get into today, because the focus of what I want to talk about is that the younger brother had to hit rock bottom to come to his senses and say, I want to rebuild my life. I want to make it different. I want to do it different than I've been doing it. Kyle Idleman wrote a book on this come to his senses moment called Aha. And he says basically that there's this aha moment that the prodigal son has, his younger brother. And he breaks it down as to when we hit rock bottom, what do we do when we have our aha moments? When we want to rebuild our lives, we don't know what we need to do. What does that look like? And he says, he breaks down aha into an acronym, that there's a sudden awareness. There's a sudden awareness that the way I've been doing life does not work anymore. Then there's brutal honesty. You have to get real honest with yourself. That's why the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous is honesty, that I am powerless against alcohol. That's the first step. That brutal honesty, we all need that in our lives. Am I being honest with myself? Really being honest with myself. And once you say, I'm not, this is the way life is working, and the way I've been living my life does not work anymore. Hitting rock bottom makes you do this. You have to take immediate action to move forward. Like, what is that immediate action to look like after your spouse has left you, or after you've filed bankruptcy, or after you have checked out of rehab because you had to go into rehab because you couldn't go a day without completely just getting smashed, wasted? Like, what is the first day look like after rock bottom? Like, what do you do to rebuild your life? Today, I want to focus in on that immediate action. I'm assuming that maybe if you've hit this, you're listening to this podcast, or maybe you have someone in mind that you want to share this with, that they are at rock bottom, that they're at a point where they say, I want to start over. I want to rebuild my life. I don't know what that looks like. I'm assuming that you are aware that you need to rebuild your life, that you've been honest with yourself, that the way you've been living your life does not work anymore. So what action do you take today? Like, what do you do right now, today, before you go to sleep, in order to start rebuilding your life? What we need to do is we need to stack up one successful day after another to help you slowly take ground, regain confidence, and see the results for the long haul. So what I'm going to teach you today is a daily mantra that is your action step to take every single day. I learned this from a buddy of mine named Jeff Bennett. And he says this to church planters. I planted a church in Naples, Florida, so he encourages us with this same mantra. I'm going to use it. I'm going to give it to you because I think it's really applicable for those who are trying to rebuild their life. He says this: dream big, start small, execute like crazy. That's your daily mantra. Dream big, start small, execute like crazy. So here's that first. So I want to talk about each one of those. So daily habit number one of your mantra is to dream big. What is your personal vision for your life? See, a vision, all it is a picture of the future that ignites passion. It's a preferred future. It's where you want to be. It pulls you into the future because it's so compelling that it's a big enough yes that makes you say no to all of the other things that get in the way of that big enough yes. Okay, Stephen Covey, in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about the habit of effective people called begin with the end in mind. He challenges everybody to go to a cemetery. I know it sounds morbid. To walk through the headstones and to picture your funeral. And at your funeral, what do you want people to say about you then? What do you want your legacy to be? What story are you passing along to the people that come after you? Like, do that exercise. Create as clear as you can a compelling picture of who you want to be, what your life you want to look like, what legacy you want to leave. Andy Stanley says it like this: vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction that it should be. Every day, as you rebuild your life, you need to start with that personal vision for yourself. Cast it to you. Cast that personal vision to you every single day. The hardest person to lead is the person you see in the mirror. And the way you lead any organization, any group of people, is you have to paint a picture of the future that ignites passion for them. So do it for yourself. Like, maybe it's like, I want to be sober, alcohol free, and have a story to share with other alcoholics who are struggling. Maybe it's like, I want to have a healthy marriage that flourishes, that looks like this in the future when we're 50 years down the road and people talk about the way we love and care for each other, that our marriage was a model to other people's in their marriages. I don't know what it is for you, but write that picture. It's like, I want washboard abs, okay? But whatever it is, write it out. Make a vision board. with pictures and statements and quotes that you've heard. For me, I have a thing I read every single day, a daily kind of creed that I read through just to help me remember who I want to be, where I want to go. Everyone ends up somewhere, but very few people end up somewhere on purpose. Okay. So write it out. Listen to music that compels you, that's inspiring to you. I have a vision playlist on my phone that I just will take a shower, put on that vision playlist, and it inspires me to be the best version of myself. Well, watch a movie. I pick 12 movies and I watch one a month. And each one is an inspirational movie that really makes me want to keep going. Read books that inspire you. You've got to inspire yourself. You've got to dream big. So dream big every day. Vision cast to yourself. Get creative in what that looks like for you. That's the first part. So your daily mantra: dream big, start small, execute like crazy. What does it mean to start small? Here it is. Set a goal, whatever that goal is. You can accomplish in 90 days, 120 days, 3-4 month goal. Don't go any further than that. Okay. Set a goal, break it down into weekly and daily activities, and start working towards that goal, whatever it is. Okay. There's Michael Hyatt. I'm going to really borrow a lot from him in this section of starting small. He talks about the 3 zones in goal setting. First is the comfort zone. The comfort zone is what you're comfortable with. It's what's familiar to you. It's safe. It requires minimal effort for you. And we all have a comfort zone of things that we are used to. And yet the most interesting things in life, this is for Michael Hyatt, happen just on the other side of your comfort zone, which he calls the discomfort zone. Discomfort zone is where growth occurs. The discomfort zone is Peter and Jesus in the storm on the boat, and Peter stepping out of the boat onto water. Like, the boat is comfortable. Stepping out of the boat to walk on the water is, of course, not comfortable at all. It's the discomfort zone. It's uncertainty. It's filled and plagued with doubt. Michael Hyatt says you can either be comfortable and stagnant or uncomfortable and grow. Boy, that is true. And so you got to have goals that push you out of your comfort zone. If you're going to have a new life, if you're going to rebuild your life, your life is perfectly designed to get the results it's currently getting. That's your comfort zone. So to get out of your comfort zone, you've got to push yourself into the discomfort zone with some kind of goal that propels you into it towards your vision. The last zone is called the delusional zone. And the delusional zone is these unrealistic goals that are unattainable. Most likely, if you're not in physical shape, having washboard abs in 3 months is unattainable. So don't set that goal. Set something that can be done. Here's the key. Okay. While significant goals will always lie outside of the comfort zone, in the discomfort zone, the first step to achieving that goal is in the comfort zone. It's something that maybe you've done before, you just haven't done consistently. See, discomfort zone stretches you to a new reality. Yet, accomplishing tasks consistently over time that are aimed at your vision of where you want to go, that are in the comfort zone, gives you clarity and confidence. You can accomplish something towards your goal. And that's what you need to do when you're rebuilding your life. For the prodigal son, it was, I need to go home. Like, I should need to go home. That's the first step. That's starting small, right? He's gone home before. That's part of the comfort zone. But going and facing his dad was uncomfortable. Like, that is the ultimate, like, okay, I'm terrified of that. But him leaving wherever he was and walking down the road towards his home, that's in the comfort zone. He's done that before. And then as you do another step and another day, slowly what happens is whatever that thing that was uncomfortable, that was scary to you, that you were plagued with fear and doubt about, it becomes comfortable. It becomes something that you now see yourself doing. Here's some examples of just like some simple steps to do, daily actions to help you start small and make progress towards your vision. Simple things like making your bed every morning. I hate that concept. I hate making my bed. I think it's the dumbest chore and habit to do. But here's what it does do. It does allow you to succeed at something every single day. And if right now you feel like a failure, maybe making your bed every morning is the first thing you need to do to stack up small wins that can rebuild your confidence that you can be successful or effective or productive in a way that you don't think you could. You need to build up your confidence. Maybe for you, it's like, I just need to go on a walk. Go on a walk. You want to get physically fit, but you don't know where to start? Just go on a walk every day for 45 minutes or an hour or 30 minutes, just around your block. Start small. Do something that you can do consistently. Maybe it's push-ups. Maybe for you, you're in a lot of medical debt or any credit card debt. Here's a goal. Save $100. Get $100 in an envelope and make it your emergency fund saving. Like, that's something you can do pretty quickly. Okay. Identify one thing you're grateful for every day and celebrate it. All of these things are small wins. Okay. They're small habits, small behaviors. But when you start small every single day and you consistently do things in your comfort zone that are leading you to your discomfort zone, you will begin to see a change over the long haul. Start small every single day. Okay. Here's the last piece. So you dream big. Here's your daily mantra as you're trying to rebuild your life. Dream big. Start small. And the third part of the mantra is to execute like crazy. Just focus on getting stuff done. Executing like crazy. We overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 5. This is the long view. Listen, friend, it took you years to get into this mess, into this situation, into rock bottom. Okay, it took years to get there. And it'll probably take you years to get you out. Okay, just to be honest, to be frank. But don't let that discourage you. You overestimate what can happen in a year, like where you'll be a year from now, but you underestimate where you could be in 5. And your life can be drastically different in the next 2, 3, 5 years of your life if you start today and you dream big and you start small and you start executing every day like crazy. There's this old adage, I don't know where I got it from, but when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, the best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago, right? When's the second best time to plant a tree? Today. That's the second time. Because we can't go back 100 years and plant a tree. That would have been the best. But what we can do is plant a tree now. And friend, I don't know what you got going on in life. I don't know how you hit rock bottom or what that looks like. But I wish we could go back. I wish we could go back and make decisions that didn't get you where you're at today, right? That's probably your biggest regret is, man, I wish I could just go back and change this, that, and the other. I do too. But we can't. But what we can do is you can start rebuilding your life today so that in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, your life is drastically different than it is now. But you have to dream big, start small, and execute like crazy. The execute like crazy, here's what I encourage you to do, is pursue day stacking. This is from Robin Sharma's book, the 5 a.m. Club. The idea is to stack one day on top of another day, on top of another day, on top of another day of dreaming big, starting small, executing every day like crazy. Here's the goal. Stack 100 days on top of each other. 100 days where every day you live the mantra. Okay. Create some kind of scoreboard that you can celebrate the progress. I have ping pong balls, 100 ping pong balls in a big water jug. And as I try to stack 100 days of my goal, I just take every day a ping pong ball and put it in that jug. And I'm seeing progress. That's my scoreboard. In the 4 disciplines of execution, and they talk about the discipline of focus and of leverage and of accountability. This is called the discipline of engagement, that you own more a goal when you yourself create a scoreboard to track it. So what scoreboard can you track that will help you be excited about your progress, excited about you stacking up 100 days of dreaming big, starting small, executing like crazy? What's that discipline of engagement that allows you to celebrate your progress? Okay. Now make sure you don't celebrate the lag measures. Okay. The lead and the lag measures are always important to know. Lag measures lag behind. And once you see them, you can't change your behavior. Okay. Best easiest example of lead and lag measures is a lag measure is what you weigh today. When I step on the scale in the morning, that's what I weigh. I can't do anything right now to affect that score. Okay. Before I step onto that weight, that's just what I weigh today. Okay. A lead measure is how many calories do I take in every single day. That's something I can control right now and change and adjust. And the lead measures, the things that lead the change, they affect the lag measures, the things that lag behind. Okay. So don't focus on lag measures or results. Focus on lead measures, what you can do, what behaviors and habits you're forming. Because your life is a product of the relationships you surround yourself with, the habits you form, and the decisions you make. So celebrate that trajectory every single day. Celebrate progress. Celebrate lead measures. Celebrate trajectory. What progress are you celebrating, and what scoreboard are you using to do that? So here, if you're wanting to rebuild your life, you've hit rock bottom, you don't know what's next. What do you do today? You're suddenly aware of the situation. You've been brutally honest with yourself, and you want to take immediate action. What is that immediate action today? Well, dream big. Start small. Execute like crazy. And do that for 100 days in a row. And then look up and see where you're at. Okay. That's my encouragement to you today. This is just the start of us talking about what it looks like to rebuild your life. Some upcoming episodes that you can follow along with this as we kind of dig deeper into this concept. We're going to do a Q&A session with my friends Lindsay and Andy. I'm going to interview Ben Bridges from St. Matthew's House. He's Vice President of Programs there here in Naples. He works with people in recovery all the time that are trying to rebuild their lives and has a lot of wisdom and insight on that. And then I'm really excited to share, to be able to interview my buddy from high school, Nick Dillard, who has an incredible story of how he has lived this out and rebuilt his life after hitting rock bottom. So make sure you follow along over the next several weeks. The best way to do that is to subscribe or like us on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you like what you're hearing, comment and share it with a friend or whatever. And we would love to see just more engagement there and see and respond to what things do you want to hear us talk about on Cy Huffer and Friends. So before we go, remember this one truth, that you are made for more. So don't settle for anything less. Have a great day.